Hey, so the dangers of using just like financials for metrics is like and using like not the correct metric for like all the different aspects is you're getting very like biased like data in a sense. You're getting data that requires people to make assumptions and things that would happen based on those metrics. For example, like if you're making a lot of profit and like you have a lot of like financial metrics being met, you might think the company's successful, is doing well off, but it's only in the short term. For the long term, it doesn't tell you anything, or like not as much as is needed for your business. For example, like let's say the environment is changing. Like let's say your short-term metric financially is being met. However, it's just because like your one product or service is being used currently, but since you're not developing or like you don't have any metrics for the future, like new products, new like ways to make your service better than other people's, then that's like dangerous because you're gonna set yourself up for failure in the long term. What like anything I can like I've seen this in like personally. I work for Starbucks, and I think it's very fitting the situation with the CEO. Um, they're repeating a lot of um, metrics. Like Starbucks is making like record sales inside the quarter, for example. And if you use just solely that, um, you'd be like set up for failure. As I think our um, CEO is currently Brian Nickel, the CEO for Starbucks. I think he is currently using those metrics for like satisfying shareholders and making assumptions that the business is going well off. Um, just because of the record sales, I can tell you employees are still not very happy with like this whole Starbucks union. They are like making all these vocal complaints, which is in the bottom end of the metric employee satisfaction, willingness to sell from the last chapter. Um, the being is kind of close, riding the line. They're not very happy, and also like consumers are like getting upset to paying like $10 for a coffee. This is also like willingness to pay is also low from the last chapter. So if you are just using like financial metrics for like Starbucks currently, you would like assume that it's doing really well off. But like current metric wise, the new CEO and his methods have been ineffective and is not good for the long term of the business of the company. Is where I've seen this in like applicable to real life. Um, Expanding on that, like Starbucks, when you have unhappy employees and unhappy customers, you're bound to be outpaced by other like vicious competitions in the service industry for coffee, and that's dangerous because then in the long term, after your short-term financial success, if you're just using those financial metrics, you don't have any of these other metrics like being checked on, which you're failing, you would suddenly just be like oblivious to like why the company starts doing poorly.